0, 1.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Black and White United show here on my YouTube channel. I'm your host, Andreas, and let's just cover everything that's happened over the weekend and what's happened today. And I was going to do a video on the weekend after the grand final, do one before the grand final, but I just thought to myself, you know what? There's no point. Let's just let the weekend play out. All other content creators are posting stuff, whatever. Let's just do something on the Monday, the Tuesday, whatever, and let's just talk about it, because there's going to be stuff now that the grand final's finished. There's going to be some stuff that's going to be said about trades and God knows what. And today, like, wow, what the fuck? Like, I'm going to try to get this up now, and I'm going to read it to you. But the sheer arrogance from Carlton on what they are proposing Port Adelaide for Dan Houston is an absolute disgrace. Basically, in a nutshell, Carlton is saying, we're going to give away the two guys that we don't want, right? And then you can take one of our first round picks from like next year or some shit like that and give us Dan Houston. Like, I don't know who the fuck they think they are and relying on other clubs to do this, but fuck off. Like, if you're going to be like that and you guys want an A-grade player and you're prepared not to give up anything fucking substantial for him, like, don't even come to the party. Like, you're just a fucking joke of a football club. You're just a participant football club who just happens to have some sort of half-decent fucking history. Like, just fuck off. Anyway, so before we get to the grand final and all that fucking bullshit that happened on the weekend, let's just cut straight to it. So there's a mega trade that's been put on the table, and it basically means that Port Adelaide get Jack Lukosius, Always, Lewis Young, and pick 12, and they get rid of Dan Houston and Ollie Lord. Gold Coast receive John Noble and pick number 11. They give up Lukosius and pick 12. That part there I'm not too fussed about. Dan Houston goes to Carlton. This is what gets me. Carlton gives away Matt Always, Lewis Young, and pick 11. Right, Collingwood gets Ollie Lord and from Port Adelaide, and we give up John Noble to think. So the Ollie Lord, John Noble stuff there, you know what? I can probably cop that. The Gold Coast aspect to it, yes, like the Noble and the pick 11 from Carlton, but what on earth is Carlton giving back? Like, I don't get it. Like, they're not even giving away a pick, like, to Port Adelaide. Like, I'm looking at this now. And it's basically Carlton getting Dan Houston, and they're giving away Always, Young, and pick 11. The pick 11 is going to Gold Coast. So what they're saying is they're giving away fucking two duds and trying to get an A-grade midfielder back in return. So I don't see how that's going to happen. I don't see why Carlton would even bother coming to the party and doing something as fucking shifty and bullshit as that, and just relying on other clubs to actually come up with the fucking goods to get them what they want. Fox Footy have posted in the last hour, are Port Adelaide within their rights to be upset at the arrogance of Carlton with their reported trade proposal. Carlton gets Dan Houston, Power gets Matt Always in a first round pick. They need a third club to get involved, and then to get potentially Carlton's future first round. That doesn't even fucking make sense. It just baffles me. It just baffles me that these fuckers decide, you know what, we're going to come here, we'll give you minimal shit, let all them do the stuff, do all the trades, and we'll take Houston. Like, for God's sake, Port Adelaide, if you have any fucking brains, if you have any sort of integrity about your football club, right? Fucking, we'll let you wear the fucking prison fucking jumper for fucking an extra game. Who cares? Just for the love of fucking God, don't give up Dan Houston to Carlton for absolute fucking nothing in return. For the love of God, North Melbourne, come to the fucking party now. Come in and fucking do something. Or Collingwood, what the fuck are you doing? Alright, so it's been said that we're getting Harry Perriman, $850,000 a year. It's gaining more traction today now that the actual season's finished. So basically, $850,000 a year on a 7-year deal. Personally, and you can fucking put shit in the comments and you can hang shit on me, whatever. 7-year deals are fucking rubbish. If we're going to give him a 7-year deal, it has to be heavily back ended because we've still got Pendle, Sidey, Howe, Cox, and all that sort of shit in the side. And even if they've got 1-year deals left or 1-year deals happening or whatever it is, they're going to demand the most amount of money. Perriman's a fantastic player. Perryman is going to complement our football team, and I want to get him, and I don't want to lose a player like that coming into the side because it'll fit perfectly for what we need, 110%, right? But for the love of fucking God, if you're going to give this guy the fucking Tats Lotto, right, you've got to manage it properly because the last time we fucking did this shit, we lost 2 fucking gun players in Treloar and Grundy. Now, they can fuck off. It's got nothing to do with us anymore, right? But we're still paying half their wage or a portion of their wage or whatever it was. We're still paying that shit, okay? Now, I'm pretty sure that Hawthorn had to only pay a small amount of money on the Tom Mitchell stuff, and that sort of offset the Grundy or Treloar shit, or one of the deals that we were doing. That's fine, that's great, but I'm pretty sure that stops as of next year from Hawthorn paying Mitchell's contract for half of Mitchell's contract or a portion of it for 2 years, because this will be his 3rd year at the club. So, you know, there's all this fucking shit that's going on. That's why I didn't want to post anything on the weekend. I thought to myself, no, you know what? Monday, let's just vent it out. And, like, just the rubbish that I'm hearing. Just, I mean, yeah, it's silly season. We love it. Players are going here, players are going there. From a Collingwood's point of view, you don't want Dan Houston to go to Carlton because he actually makes them look half fucking decent, right? And on top of that, you want Collingwood to come in with something substantial for him. You want Collingwood to be part of the deal. Do Collingwood get Ollie Lord? You know what? If we don't lose a fucking pick and it's involved in a trade, yeah, 100% get him in. Another forward, that's great. Do Port Adelaide want to get rid of him? I don't think they do. I don't think Port Adelaide want to get rid of him. Now, Lord got sick, I think it was, during pre-season, and then he got injured or whatever, so he didn't play a fair amount of games during the season. So he's obviously got a lot of work to do. Now, the problem that I've got with this stuff is every time we try and get anyone with substance, we try and get anyone that's half decent, especially in the forward line, they either come into the club under an injury cloud or they get fucking injured straight away. We've had Dan McStay now for 2 years and we still haven't seen his full potential. He helped us win a premiership. He helped us get there 110%, and that's just with him playing half a season or some shit like that. You know what I mean? So I'm very frustrated today. I'm very angry, and the reason why I'm on this too isn't just because of the whole Carlton being arrogant and giving us those bullshit fucking options in that trade period, which is going to fucking be non-beneficial for other clubs, not just us. This grand final, like I've got to talk about it, and I'm gonna just like tell it straight how it is. We from a Collingwood point of view, let this flag go. Yes, we didn't make the finals, so 110%. You know, like we should really shut up about it, whatever. But this flag was there for the taking. This flag was the weakest premiership that has been won by a football club for, I reckon, for many years. At least in 22, when Geelong smashed Sydney, the path to get there was and the teams in the finals. It was a good final series, right? This final series, and I'm not just saying it because we weren't there, but like if you look at it compared to like last year when we won the flag, you look at the 2 preliminary finals. Like, they were both amazing football games. Both the preliminary finals in this one here were, like, I thought, pretty decent contested games of football. Like, obviously, like, probably the second half of the Port Adelaide Sydney game was shit. Yeah, we know. But you look over the years, the preliminary finals have been really good they're really good games of football. The final series has been really good. This whole final series, like, you know what? The Hawthorn Bulldogs game, yep, that was a really good game. It was a hard-fought game. It was a good game because it was a shit game, but it was a good contest. It was a good contest between the two sides. You look at Geelong beating Port Adelaide in the qualifying final. Fucking boring as batshit, right? The preliminary final between Brisbane and Sydney was by far the best game of the final series. Like, that was an elite game of football. And that's probably what saved this final series. But you look at it from a Collingwood point of view, right? The stupid decisions that we made on the field, the dumb football that we played, right, from this fucking premiership hangover. We make the finals, you give us like one of the draws and you give us the Sydney game. We pretty much finish 6th. The whole finals is thrown into whack. We play Hawthorn or Bulldogs in the first week of the finals, and I'm telling you, we play them at the MCG. I know Hawthorn's a bit of a bogey side to us, but the way that we were playing, we beat them. The way that we were playing, we beat any side there. And other fans can watch this from other clubs, but the fact of the matter is we were coming towards the end. We fucked up that Sydney game, which shot us in the foot. But you look at a side like Brisbane, and congratulations to Brisbane because they are the most deserving side of that won the flag. However, you look at that Brisbane side, we beat them twice this year. We beat so many, it's just, you look at it from our point of view, and the Collingwood supporters will know this. This is a premiership that if we had made it, if we had made the top 4, and I know they're ifs and ifs and ifs, if we were there, this was the flag that we could have stolen. We could have. It was a weak premiership, like that game, that grand final. Brisbane took the absolute piss. Like halfway through the first quarter, I was thinking, shit, this is actually going to be an arm wrestle. Sydney stopped. The only person on that team that actually played with any sort of substance, any sort of emotion, any sort of like pride for the jumper, probably won't be there, and that's Luke Parker. He'll probably be at North Melbourne next year because you wouldn't want to be there. John Longmire has picked, these grand finals, he's picked teams that have been underdone. He's picked players that had injury clouds, and I was very much of a whole, like, fuck you, Taylor Adams, you left Collingwood, you sooked it up, you went there, you're not getting picked. Looking at that side, he should have played that grand final. Probably a blessing in disguise they lost, right, for him, but he should have played that game. Grundy, I thought, did okay too. He got chopped up, but considering the way the team was playing, he played all right. So I just think it's a flag that it was a weak premiership. Congratulations to Brisbane to lose a grand final and then go through the final series and then not finish in the top 4 and then play every week and then win it. They are deserving. They are the 2024 premiers. They are the team that deserves it the most. But for fuck's sake, Collingwood, we've got to win these games that we should win. We don't lose to Essendon and we don't lose to St Kilda. We don't lose to Sydney at home. Right? We don't lose these bullshit games of football. We don't draw to Fremantle. We beat them wherever we go. We are a better football club, right? We need to do better than this. I think now the best part about winning the flag in 2023 and then like losing the prelim in 22, we have set the standard now. We have set the standard and it is unacceptable not to make the finals. If we lost a preliminary final by a point to Geelong or a point to Brisbane and whatever, I'd be able to cop that on the chin because we gave it everything. But the fact that we went in there and we weren't even in there this year for the finals, it burns me to see how weak this premiership was. You don't have to agree with me. You can turn this off and you can say, what a dickhead, look at the fucking crap that he's talking. But Collingwood is a much better football team than half the sides or 3/4 of the sides that played that final. If we had played against Brisbane in that grand final again this year, we would have absolutely destroyed them at the MCG. That's how shit Sydney were. That's how much this premiership was there for the taking, and you'd be fucking spewing if you're a Geelong supporter because you were a kick away from winning that flag, because you would have gone in there and wiped them off the park again. So, look, there's going to be heaps of back to the trade stuff. Excuse me. There's going to be heaps of trade things coming up over the next few days. I think that Perryman deal is done, and I think that is a really good deal for Collingwood. I think it's an expensive deal, and I don't think there's going to be too much happening after that once we get him in, because we're going to have to take at least 3 or 4 picks to the draft or whatever. So we just got to try and fill the gaps of where we need to. Now, if we can get Perryman, let's just say we get Lord part of a big mega trade or whatever it is, and we're only giving up Noble, but we're getting a forward, that's fine. With that being said, like I said at the start of the video, I really think we should be getting a forward that's not injured, that's ready to go. Just give him a pre-season and let him go. But they don't come around very often. That's why I'd be like really keen for someone like Membry and the guy and Taberner from Fremantle who got delisted. they're the type of guys I want, because they're not gonna cost you picks. They're not gonna cost you anything, and they're ready to go. You know. So, and like Tabernar's got a point to prove. A member I think is probably going to go to Essendon. But we'll just see what happens in the trade, guys. I know this has been a long rant, but I sort of left my time on the weekend to just watch the grand final, try and enjoy it, see what's happened, and I'm telling you, like, it's just this off season is going to be an absolute fucking piss take. If we're Collingwood supporters, mate, we should be expecting something fucking massive next season, because yeah, that was a bullshit final series. It was a bullshit premiership. Congratulations to Brisbane. You're deserving of it. No one can take that away from you. But for fuck's sake, Pies, with 2025 is going to be something fucking special. Anyway, call it as you see it. Leave a comment below. Go the fucking Pies.
You roll.